Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. Before I start to make a card today, I just want to say a really big thank you to everybody who's subscribed on my YouTube channel in this last month. I have nearly 2,000 subscribers and I am so happy. I really appreciate the support and I hope that you love what I do and that you'll keep watching me. So thank you so much to everybody. Now on Tuesday, which is normally my Facebook Live, but I couldn't do one this week, I actually made a quick video showing you the Words of Cheer dies. And I'd promised in my previous Facebook Live that I would show everybody something with this vertical die, like a portrait style die. I couldn't think of the word then, sorry. And I used the Whimsy and Wonder paper and then just the little die as well. And I said I would make my YouTube video this week using this set, which is the stamp set that goes with the dies. And I'm going to use this flower, but I'm not going to make a Christmas card. I have lots of winter birthdays, and so I'm going to actually make a birthday card. I know it's a stamp set that's meant to be for Christmas, but honestly, you know, you can use it for birthdays too. So I've chosen Misty Moonlight for my base, and a lot of my base cards are already pre-cut. So this is one that is pre-cut, but I need to trim it down a little bit. I need to trim the front because I'm going to make just a half front card. So I need to chop just a little bit off here. I need this piece here to be still attached, and I'm just going to trim this little tiny weeny piece off. So let's see, where I need this piece to be 2.5 inches. So I'm just lining up my fold on 2.5 and then chopping that off, and I'll use that on another card, maybe for backing a sentiment or something. Okay, all my others are already cut. It was just that one piece that I needed to do. Okay, I'm just going to go over the edges of my card as well. I am a little bit heavy-handed when I cut, and I seem to get just a little edge sometimes, and also it's a new blade that's in there, so that sometimes makes my edges just a little bit more prominent as well. Okay, so to make this card, we've got our base. You just need a piece of basic white that's 1/4 inch smaller all the way around, and that's going to be for our inside. But I want to stamp part of the flower on here. I'm not going to stamp all of it, I just want a part of it. So I'm not going to attach it in the card yet. I'm going to get a little piece of scrap paper, and I've got another little piece of card that I'm going to stamp the flower on, because we're going to cut this out for the front. So I'm going to stamp that one first, and it is quite a big stamp, so you need quite a big block to put it on. If you don't have big blocks, you can always use the box as well. You just need something in the box so it's not too bendy, but that always works too. If I'm away camping, I don't always take all my blocks, and so sometimes that's what I'll do. Oh, now I know that's a little bit too much ink there already, so I'm just going to clean that and start again. I don't want a big patch of ink there. Okay, pop that to one side. Okay, and because it's a big stamp, I'm just going to pop the Memento ink onto it like this. And sometimes I'll sort of colour over it like this and then just tap. And that way I know I've got all the surfaces inked. And this is just for cutting out, so it doesn't matter, you don't have to line it up or anything. But we're just going to stamp it. Okay, this is a very, very pretty stamp. But then for the piece that goes inside, I'm just going to check that this is still the piece for inside. Yeah. I'm just going to stamp sort of part of it on the bottom corner. I don't want the whole thing, or I won't have enough room for a sentiment or for me to write my message. So I just want to have this, and I'm going to put just a little bit, make sure I've got one of the big flowers on, and just go over it like that. There we go. I'm going to put the lid on there, because I don't need that black again at the moment. Okay, and then what I need to do next is to colour my pieces in. And I'm using some quite subtle shades. I've got the soft succulent for my leaves, I've got So Saffron for my flowers, and I've got the light pumpkin pie as well. And what I'm going to do, I'll start with this one first. I'm going to do all the round berries, which, you know, normally you might do like a red, like a cherry cobbler, or a brighter real red. And I'm going to do all of these first. So I'll just turn it round. No, it's not a tricky colouring to do by any means. It's a big picture. And I would be doing just the same on here. And going to get my dark So Saffron to go... Oh, actually, I'm going to use this one in the middle of my flowers too. So my light pumpkin pie is going just in the middle here. And that little star shape. And then with my dark So Saffron, I'm going to just do a little bit of sort of shading in the middle of each petal. Now it's, you can tell I'm not really an artist. I just colour a few bits, but it works. It works for me. Okay, there we go. And then with the light one, I'm just going to go over the top. So you'll be able to see some of that dark, and it'll look, you know, like the middle of the petal is a tiny bit more shaded. It is a very pretty set if you want to do winter kind of arrangements, you know, with the red berries and the deep green leaves on the little holly. But I just wanted it to be a birthday card. Let's see, I don't know what that little piece is there, so I'm not colouring that. I don't think it's a petal. I think it's just where two lines are. And because I haven't stamped the whole of the picture, you won't be able to tell. Now, often when I'm using my blend pens, I'll put a light coat down first and then go over it with the dark and then go over it again with the light. But for this, I don't need to. Okay, and then all of these little leaves, which I don't know what they are, but these little leaves I'm doing with the soft succulent, and it's almost like a eucalyptus colour, which I think is really pretty. I've got one there. Okay, and then the holly leaf I'm actually going to do with the dark So Succulent. There we go. Okay, so that's just the inside. And actually, I would probably stamp the same thing on my envelope too. Or I could use a designer series paper that I'm using on the card. So imagine that I've coloured all of that one in the same colours as this. And then the set comes with a die. And you can just line up the die like this. Run it through your cut and emboss machine. If you don't have the dies, it's a really simple one just to cut out with scissors. So I need to see where I've put my piece. Oh, here it is. So I've already coloured exactly the same as here, with that light pumpkin pie in the middle and for the little berries, the soft succulent for these leaves, and the darker soft succulent for the holly leaves, which don't stand out as a holly leaf when they're coloured that colour. Okay, now this I'm going to attach on the inside here, and you can see that when my flap is going to be closed, you can actually see a teeny weeny bit there, but you know, you can't see the picture, so when the recipient opens it, this is quite a nice surprise. Let's move this, And let's find some Stampin' seal and we'll attach this. Oh. Now, until last week, I hadn't actually opened this set. It's one of those that I bought straight away because I knew I loved it, and I liked the sentiments inside, for the inside of cards as well. But I hadn't opened it, hadn't played with it, and then I just fell in love with the die cutting parts. So I want to put like a little sentiment here too, and I'm going to stamp in my Misty Moonlight. You could stamp in the Memento Black as well. And I've stolen a sentiment from Pansy Patch. I just want this happy birthday. Now, if you didn't have this and you didn't have a happy birthday that fitted, you could use the happy and the day and stamp the happy and the day underneath. So that would still work. You don't need a separate stamp set just to make a birthday card. Okay, but I just have this one, and I'm thinking, look, that it'll just fit on there perfectly. The sizing looks good. Okay, and I'm going to stamp it here. Yeah, that's nice. I like that being just down there. It looks a little bit different as well. So I have another piece of the basic white, and this is going to go here. And can you see how these edges will line up? So, you know, it almost looks like you've just got the blue through the middle. That works for both pieces of card. And then I've got this little piece of Designer Series paper. It's out of the Pattern Party, I think it's called. Let me just look. It's from the Hostess set, Pattern Party Designer Series paper. Yeah. And it's got loads of different designs in, and there's 48 sheets. It takes a long time to use it up. I've been using this for months and still got lots left. But I chose this just because it was a little floral piece, and I thought it sort of, you know, it went well with this little floral piece. So I'm going to attach this to here. Let's find my tape again. Make sure it's got a nice little border all the way around, and then it's even. Oops, it wasn't going to be even then. There we go. And then I'm going to put adhesive on the back, and we're going to put this just on the front here. I'm just making sure that the flowers are the right way up. Okay. Now this is a nice, easy little template to use, because your focal point can be here, but when you open it, it's got like, you know, another little secret part inside. But it's a really easy template to start and use. And if you check my blog afterwards, I'll have all the sizings on there for you. Now this is the little piece that I coloured and cut out, and I'm going to put it just the same way. I was going to put it just the same way as this is here. So, I mean, it doesn't look upside down any way that you put it, and it maybe depends on where your sentiment is. But actually, I think I like it upside down now. I've seen it upside down. I think I'm going to put it that way. I like the way that these pieces come down onto the Designer Series paper. But we're only going to attach it at this half. I'm going to put dimensionals on it, but I'm not putting any over here because then it would stick to this side of the card. So I know that my dimensionals are going to go down here. And if you need to cut some dimensionals in half, you can do that too. Let me just check. I'm going to need one over here. I'm not going to put it too far over. There we go. I'm going to take these off. But I think this is just ideal for a winter birthday. With the blues, and even though it's holly, I don't think it looks too much like holly once it's on. Okay, now I'm just going to line that up so it's sort of over, sort of halfway over on each side, and check that I can't see any of the dimensionals. Now the thing with blends is you can see that they bleed. If that bothers you, you can attach, once you've coloured, you can attach another little piece of card underneath. You could cut another piece of white out with your die cut and just glue it to the back, or if you're cutting by hand, you can just attach it to another piece of card and then cut round. So it's not really bothering me because I like people to know that it's handmade. And then the last thing I'm going to put on are just some little embellishments. And I wasn't sure which ones I would use, but I tried to get something that was going to be the colour of these little berries. And so I've got the elegant faceted gems and I've got my champagne rhinestones. So let's find the pokey tool and let's have a little look. Now the champagne rhinestones mostly are big by the look of it. But they are a really good match for that, aren't they? Let's put a big one and a small one. Oops. There we go. I'm going to put them not too far away from the flower. Okay, let's see. Oops. I haven't glued them down yet, just in case I didn't like that colour. Let's see. Before I stick them down, I'm just going to look at the elegant faceted gems because they're a little bit smaller and I've got 3 that are all small. I might go with that instead just because they're all the same size, but they still go really well with those little berries. Yeah, I think I like these. That's what I'm going to go with. There's 2. Oops. And there's one up here. Okay. So there we are. That's my Words of Cheer colouring card, but made into a birthday card instead. Thanks again for joining me, everybody. I'll see you all again next week. And again, I really do appreciate the support. And I've just been amazed at how many people have joined the YouTube channel in the last month. Thanks ever so much, everybody. I'll see you all again really soon. Bye-bye.